today's episode of After Making a Baby with Steph Onye. This episode is for those moms who've ever thought, why did anyone want me about this before having my baby? Yes, we're going to be talking about things I wish I knew before having my baby because there's a lot that is not discussed, right? Let's jump into the physical recovery, the mental health, to even feeling or not recognizing yourself anymore, right? We're going to be debunking some of the myths, and we're going to also be listening to some listener stories that people have shared with me, and ending with some advice and tips on how to survive and thrive during the postpartum period. So, let's dive into the raw, unfiltered postpartum experience, everything that happens after making a baby, the good, the bad, and the shocking. Let's get into it. No one really tells you what happens after the baby arrives. I mean, sure, they warn you about the dirty nappies, changing nappies, the sleepless nights, but what about the times you just cry in the shower for no reason? What about you looking at yourself in the mirror and like wondering who in the world is that person and not being able to recognize or feel like yourself? What about the postpartum hair loss? What about the anger? What about the anxiety? Like, there's so much that people don't talk about. First of all, let's start with some of the myths out there because, to be honest, I hear some of these things and my mind, I'm just like, wait, what? The one I always hear is, you feel like yourself again after 6 weeks. The reality is that, see, recovery time varies per person, to be honest. And 6 weeks for some people is just the start. Like, for some people, 6 weeks, you're still bleeding. Like, you still are just in a mess. Your whole body feels like a mess, You're not sleeping well. Those first 6 weeks are challenging because your newborn is feeding every like 2 to 3 hours. So you're not sleeping enough. There's just a whole lot, right? Even just in the physical aspect, if you had a C-section, there's it's possible that you still have like some pain from the incision. It's that is kind of the guideline they always give you, to go check with your doctor to make sure that everything is fine after 6 weeks. But to be honest, 6 weeks is just the start of like, okay, maybe now I've healed, like maybe something is healing there, but internally there's still a lot that is happening to you. So please, 6 weeks, that timeline, just cancel that. I don't want to hear 6 weeks from anybody's mouth again. Cancel that timeline. Just say you heal. It's a journey basically. It takes over a year for some people to heal. So that 6 week timeline, don't feel pressured by it because some people are ready to go in 6 weeks. Good for them. But if it's taking you 1 year, that is fine also. It just varies per person. The second myth I always hear is about breastfeeding. Everyone is always like, breastfeeding is natural. Why isn't baby breastfed? Like, please put the baby on the breast. Like, stop giving formula. Oh, please keep quiet. Look, breastfeeding is really difficult for some people. Like, some people don't produce enough. Some people go through so much. Like, some babies are even like tongue tied. They cannot latch properly. There's so many issues that come with breastfeeding. Like, if you don't have the right support, if it's your first time, like, there's so much that can happen that can really put you off breastfeeding. It's difficult. Like, if you're an undersupplier, you have to be pumping, plus exhaustion, plus pressure, plus every other thing that's happening with your body. Like, you also have to plus the mom guilt. Oh goodness, let's not talk about the mom guilt. The mom guilt that comes with the fact that you cannot breastfeed your baby is abnormal. It's like I cannot even put it in words, to be honest. So I just feel like, just focus on your focus. Stop telling people like breastfeeding is this. Oh, why would you put your baby on the breast? Please, if that's worked for you, good. If someone else is giving their baby formula, that is fine. The main thing is that the baby is fed. Fed is best. Please, if anyone is telling you anything, or if you're feeling pressure to breastfeed, please, fed is best. The main thing is that baby is fed, baby is fine, and mom is fine. Because see, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to show up for that baby. So please, don't put pressure on yourself to breastfeed. You have heard it here. Oh, you have heard it here. Simple. Another myth that I want to talk about is that, as a mom, you're just going to bond instantly with your baby. You enjoy every part of motherhood. This one for me, it's like, it's a bit of a subject because sometimes motherhood is hard. Like, motherhood is hard, it's demanding, it's exhausting, it's a whole lot. So it's okay if there are moments you're just like, I do not love this at the moment. I do not love this right now. Like, I've not slept, I've not taken a shower, I've not eaten, I don't recognize myself, I'm in pain. It's okay to feel like, look, I'm not loving this at the moment. Like, what is this? What is this? The ghetto. What is this ghetto? Like, this is the ghetto. So it's okay to feel like that too. Please don't feel pressure to feel like, I feel like there's a lot of guilt. And funny enough, the judgment actually comes more from mothers. Like, women, it be your own women that will be judging you and saying, oh, why didn't you do that? Or why you not breastfeeding? And I really hate it. We need to be like supporting each other and lifting each other up and not tearing each other down. So it's okay. Sometimes you're not gonna love motherhood, and that's okay. And that's okay. And sometimes it's so beautiful and you love it and it's amazing. And that's okay. One thing I did as a mom when I became a mom, I called my mom and I was like, thank you. Thank you so much because I understand. In fact, I don't even understand the depth because her own story is a whole different, ball game. But I just understood a little fraction of when she's exhausted and everything, and she still showed up for us. It's very demanding. So please, if you have not done that, call your mom and just say, I love you. Thank you so much. It's a different ball game, to be honest. So yeah, now let's jump into some listener stories. A few people have sent me some questions and I want to read it out and let's discuss it, please. If you have opinions, make sure you're dropping your comments under this chat so that we can discuss it. So let's keep the conversation going. These people will be watching out for your input also. So please don't let them down. Okay. The first one is, hi, Stephanie. Since having our baby, my husband and I feel like strangers. We used to be so close, but now all we talk about is nappies and feeding schedules. I miss the connection we had. How do we find our way back? I totally understand, especially those first few weeks, like when you come back home with the baby and it's your first baby and you're just trying to survive and your husband is also getting used to being a father or your partner is getting used to being a father, and it's just very it's just something new that you both have to navigate together. So I totally understand that feeling where you're saying like, I feel so disconnected. It's no more just the both of us. It's no more all rosy and love and maybe some sex sometimes. You're tired, you don't even want to be touched sometimes. So it's new territory and it's scary. Change is scary, but one thing you should always know is that if you have a partner that you love so much and that loves you and supports you, like communication, if you've never communicated before, this is the time. Now is the time to communicate. Over communicate, express how you're feeling, open up to like talk about your fears, like without judgment, literally lay it all out on the table. Talk about how you're feeling, talk about your fears, talk about you're feeling how you're feeling disconnected, how to reconnect. Like once you're talking about it, you're not guessing what the other person is like either thinking or not thinking, because sometimes it's you, the pressure you put on yourself and thinking, oh, I haven't done this for my husband, or I haven't done this for my partner. Maybe he doesn't find me attractive, maybe he's like tired of me. But no, once you talk about it, it will be easy to just understand that no, you're going through this together, right? You're going through this together, you're in this together. So once you're able to communicate that just eliminates a part of it and helps you start talking about how you reconnect, how you connect back. So do not underestimate the power of communication and openness in your marriage, please. It's not easy, but I promise you that you can find your way back to reconnect. This baby will bond you in a different way that you cannot even imagine and take you guys, your bond to a new level. So tap into that if you can. Let's read the next one. I love my baby, but I feel so lonely. My friends don't have kids, and I don't know how to connect with other moms. Is it supposed to feel this isolating? Okay. I understand this point, especially when you feel like you're the only one in your friend group who just had a baby. Everyone is going out, you're home stuck with the baby, you're tired, you're exhausted, you have anxiety, you don't want to leave your baby, but you want to be with your friends cannot really relate in a way. um it's I understand. See, sometimes like you just have to figure out how to find your friend, like redefine your friend group. Again, communicating with them is good, but you also have to find other moms that you can connect with, because when you're going through something like tough or a different situation and you're able to bond and connect with people who are going through the same thing with you, it really makes it easy. Like if you can talk to someone and say, another mom, and say, oh, this is what I'm going through and this is how I'm feeling, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going through the same thing. You just feel like, oh, okay, like I'm not weird, I'm not the only one. So there are so many things like baby groups. You can try and attend baby groups, connect with other moms. There's even like apps now where you can meet other moms. I know there's something called Peanut. I haven't tried it, but I've heard good reviews and actually have friends who have made really good friends from that. Yeah, and they're like Facebook groups you can also join. There's local, I'm sure you don't tap in, you need to tap into your local communities, because a lot of places locally have mom groups, support groups that people like just meet up, moms meet up sometimes to just bond and connect and just make friends. So if you're feeling this way, other moms are feeling this way. They're looking for who to connect with. So don't be shy. I know a bit cringy that you say like you're trying to find a new friend or mom friend or joining an app to find a friend, but please, it's just in your head. That mom that you connect with will feel so grateful because she's also looking for a connection. So tap into those local groups and create your own village. Still have your friends, though. Those are your people. Those are your G's. Like, and communicate with them if you feel like there's some kind of like disconnect, so that they can see how they can show up for you. Maybe they don't even understand what you need. You communicate with them and tell them this, you're also like navigating this new space as they are also navigating this new space. So make sure you're open and honest with them, and also, and just, like I said, find groups that would really help you connect and relate and bond with other moms, so that you can just feel like you're supported during this journey. So I just read out two listener questions. Please put your comments down below. Let's talk about it. Okay? Let me know your opinions. If you have any pointers for these people, please comment below so that we can share. Problem shared is a problem what half solved. So please drop your tips. Let them learn. Me, I want to learn too. It's not easy. We're all in this together. Simple. Let me share a quick like why didn't anyone tell me moment. Um I feel like for me, I always heard. In fact, I didn't always hear. It was one person who mentioned to me, "Oh, you're going to bleed after you have a baby," and I was so shocked. I was like, "Wait, what do you mean?" I was already like 8 months pregnant, to be honest. And so I was like, "What do you mean I'm going to bleed? What are you talking about bleeding?" And she was like, "Yeah, you're gonna bleed. You need pads." I was like, "Okay, okay, yeah. I mean, I got some pads. I got a pack, and then I put in my box, and all this kind of thing." So I felt like, okay, thank you. I was ready. I mean, I was shocked, but I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let me tell you, I did not just understand the amount of bleeding that they meant. Like you have to be changing your pad like almost every hour. Like it was scary. Like, and I did not anticipate it and I did not expect it. And I didn't know it was gonna be for an extended period of time. My dear, please. The way I was telling my husband to run back, because I had to spend some time in the hospital after having my first baby because of some complications of preeclampsia and whatever. I would jump into that one another day. But I had to be like, go and please go and buy packs, buy, because I was like, what is happening? For weeks and weeks, I was bleeding. I was like, what is going here? Nobody warned me, oh. Nobody told me about this one. You did not tell me, oh. So I was shocked. That one, I will not like, really shocked me. Please, do you guys have any? Why didn't anyone tell me moments? Because please share it below, because I cannot be the only one who was shocked by this, right? So please, if you have a why didn't anyone warn me about this moment, please share it below. No judgments. We listen, we don't judge, Abby. please just share it. Let's all laugh, let's all relate, let's all learn, especially for people who are expecting a baby or new moms. I really want to, open up a platform and community where they can learn from and they can understand and prepare themselves for this journey called motherhood. So please share, support the knowledge. Let's share and let's hold each other up and try and support each other to make motherhood a little bit more joyful and a lot more enjoyable, right? Okay, I know. I know you guys got me. I'll be looking in the comments for your why didn't anyone tell me about this moment. Thank you. So now let's talk about some tips and advice for navigating that postpartum period. For me, like physical recovery wise, I it was really helpful for me to stock up on essentials like pads, like that perineum numbing spray because trust me, especially if you have a vaginal delivery, it will sting, especially when you go for your first pee. Oof, something that nobody will ever nobody will ever tell you about, but you will never forget that first pee. Like when you go for your first pee, you need to have like for example a peri bottle which you can use to squirt some warm water when you're using the restroom. Let's not even talk about the first poo because that one is like it's like you're having another baby. Let's start there because a lot of people are constipated. If you have stitches, Chineke me, that's it's just not an experience that you can really describe. So there are things that you can ask for that will really help ease all of that, which is, for example, asking your doctor to prescribe laxatives, or you can just buy over the counter at the pharmacy, so that it's just everything is just a bit easier and it's flowing out and it's just easier. If not, you can also ask a doctor to give you some suppository, which you can put in your behind to soften your first poo so that it's just easier for you to push out. You don't have to strain and get hemorrhoids because, let me just tell you, you don't want to do that. Anyway, there are things you can ask for. If you're struggling, ask for help. Like ask maybe someone like there's information out there for you that'll just help make those first few everything, first pee, first poo, first few weeks, just make it a bit easier. The second one is about breastfeeding. So breastfeeding is a lot. It's not easy, especially when it doesn't just happen naturally. It's not like you're producing and you have to struggle and you're not able to produce enough. For the first 3 to 4 days, your milk is not going to come in. So you're only going to be producing colostrum. So which they say is enough for baby. Some people produce a lot, some people don't. So just know that if your milk hasn't come in, that's normal and that's okay. Then you want to try to get support from like a lactation consultant or a health visitor. There are a lot of information out there to really help you, teach you how to latch baby, teach you like what to do to kind of get your milk to come in, massaging your breast, like trying to use a hand pump to pump some milk, because the more milk you remove, the more your body produces, because it's almost like a supply and demand thing that happens, right? Your body produces enough to feed baby. If your baby is not going on the breast and feeding, then your body is going to stop producing, because like I'm producing enough for baby. So you want to try and remove what's in there so that your body knows, okay, I have to supply more because baby's eating a lot. Baby needs more. So that's one tip, at least, like consult a lactation consultant, try as much as possible to pump and just, stimulate the breast to come in. Maybe after like day 3 or 4, you should start seeing something. The next tip I'll talk about is one that I know I struggled with: ask for help. As simple as it sounds, I feel like when I had my baby, I felt almost like if I asked for help, it was a form of weakness. So stupid of me. Like, what's wrong with you? Please, if anybody offers help, snatch it right up. Like, even the ones that don't offer, ask them, please, can you help me? Look, it takes a village. Like, it's not just your oh god, those first few weeks are difficult, especially when you're not sleeping, the sleep deprivation. Like, it can be a lot. For me, unfortunately, my mom couldn't join us, and it was a shock because I was expecting her to come. So it was just me with my husband, and because I spent the first few weeks in a hospital, my husband had to go back to work immediately we came back home. So it was just me and this tiny baby, and I was just in a world of shock I was exhausted, but I still had to, I had anxiety. I had to, be making sure baby was breathing, baby was awake, baby was eating, I was pumping, I was breastfeeding. There's just a lot. So please, if anyone, and then I did not ask for help. Everyone was, are you okay? I'm just like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm surviving. Even though I was dying inside. Please don't be foolish like me. Learn from foolish people's mistake and be better. Ask for help. Take all the help you can get, because I swear, like, it doesn't make you weak. It makes you smart. It makes you strong. Because if you're not strong enough for baby, you won't be able to do anything. You won't even show up for yourself or for your baby. So please take all the help you can get. Another area I want to discuss is kind of the emotional recovery, or the emotional strain it really takes on you. So there's a lot of feelings and, you know emotions that comes with having your baby, and with everything that's going on, and the fact that it's a new territory, and it's like there's a lot of changes. It's very, very, I know a lot of people say postpartum depression, but it's actually more common than you think. You'll be thinking, oh no, I'm fine. And it's a spectrum. So because you don't feel like, oh, I'm in the trenches and I feel dark and sad, it means I'm not depressed. No, there are different forms of postpartum depression, and they're different spectrum, and it shows up in different way for different people. So if you're feeling really down, if you're feeling like you're crying all the time and you're struggling, and you're inside, it's just it takes a while to get used to motherhood. Motherhood is literally like you're learning on the job. You're learning as you go. There's no manual. But if you feel like you're having this mom guilt and you're not doing it well, you feel like you're bad, not like, please, those are all forms of postpartum depression, and you need to ask for help. Like, you need to seek help, please. Like, you need to reach out to people. If you're not discussing it with a therapist, or if you're not discussing with your partner, like, just try and find someone you're comfortable with to talk about it, so you understand that you're not weird. It's not strange. Like, it's so common. I had it and I didn't even realize. Mine showed up in the form of almost like anger. Like, I was just angry all the time. I was just so angry, and I did not even know why. Everything I'll snap. Everything I'll snap. Like, it was so crazy. But once you come out of it, you realize that, okay, there was definitely something wrong with me. Like, and I didn't realize it until I was out of it, and I felt like, oh, I didn't have to, but it was a form of postpartum depression. So please, like, make sure you're talking about how you're feeling and being honest about it, because only when you say it that you can actually get the help that you need. On, like, regarding resources that can support you, there's a lot of online, like, mom communities you can join. As I mentioned, there's a lot of, like, there's a helpline for, like, postpartum mental health. So please, like, make sure you're tapping into all these resources, and just whichever one works for you. There's a way to find, like, if it's virtual calls or even in person communities that you're joining. You need to please reach out to those people to get the support that you need. So, yes, those are my key tips and advice. Well, just as a recap, remember that postpartum is not about perfection. It can be messy, it can be raw, it can be challenging, it can be enjoyable, it can be beautiful, right? So, just know that you are not alone. You need to tap into the resources around you. You need to communicate, and just know that sometimes, even if you're feeling down, look, it gets better. I know people say that, and I really sometimes hate saying that, but it's the truth. It gets better. It really does get better. I promise you. Those first few weeks are difficult, but I promise you, it get better. There's light actually at the end of the tunnel. I've been there. I've been through this tunnel twice now, and I saw the light, and I walked through the light, and I feel better. So let me tell you, there's actually light at the end of the tunnel. Look, just know that you're doing an amazing job. You're doing great. You're doing it, mama. It's not easy, but you're smashing it. So to just enjoy whatever little parts you can, because I promise you, you look back on this moment and be like, oh man, I did that. And it was crazy in the moment, but look, I survived it, and it was fine, and I'm better, and I'm okay. Like, you're gonna get out of that, and I promise you, you never remember. Some people have 5 children, though. They don't remember the postpartum trenches, like, because you forget. It gets better. So make sure you stay tuned, and you're joining us on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to After Making a Baby with Stephanie. See you later.